Hey guys, it's Richard from Galactic Digital. Today I'm going to show you exactly how you can generate larger landscaping projects from Google Ads without having to worry about shared leads from HiPages or any other providers. I'm going to show you exactly how to get your own high quality leads coming directly to your website and how to get the most out of your Google Ads budget. Now, you've probably seen lots of people talk about getting results with Google Ads, but I'm going to show you that I can actually get results for landscapers. So let's run through some case studies. Cool. So this is one of our clients in Brisbane. They're currently spending about $9,000 per month, which might sound like a lot, but don't worry, you can kind of scale it to any budget. Mostly just look at the cost per lead here and the cost per appointment here. And then you can kind of scale that to your business. So overall 392 leads. Now, what is a lead? It could be a form submission or a phone call. Now, for these guys, we do maintenance as well as residential and commercial landscaping projects. For most new clients, I kind of just recommend to start with residential projects because that seems to be the most profitable. So yeah, keep that in mind when we're looking at these numbers. So yeah, 392 leads down to 77 on-site quotes in a month. Now that's a lot of on-site quotes, but yeah, these guys have multiple people that can go out to jobs, so that's okay for them. And also you might be wondering, that's quite a big drop off. We're only really booking in 20%, which yeah, I'd agree with. Like perhaps we can book in some more. But it just comes down to the filters that this particular client is after. They're only after, jobs with a certain budget. Some of these leads, just transparently, might just be looking for like a garden cleanup, not like a big project. But yeah, it's just a numbers game, right? Cool. So our cost per lead is around $23. Our cost per appointment is $117. And in this particular month, 307K in revenue. So yeah, there was a big commercial job that came through, which is probably the most of that revenue in this particular month. 19 deals won. We could do some quick math to kind of figure out how much that is per job on average. And yeah, so it's pretty good to spend 9K and make 300K in revenue. Our cost per sale is around $476. So that basically means we can spend around $500 to get one deal won in a month. And that's pretty much where I like to get it. I want the cost per appointment to be under $200. And even if our cost per sale is less than $1,000, then I think that's great, because as we can see, most of these projects are over 10K. As we go down, we've got a couple of small 2 or 3K jobs. As we go up, 5K, 8K, 11K, 20K, 25K, 26K, 30K, 30K, 100K. Cool. So let's show another month. Let's, just double check it's not super freaky. Cool. So March, a little bit down on revenue compared to that last month. I will say that last month is a bit of freak, where we have that huge job that comes through. 8.7K spent, 315 leads, 52 on-site quotes. I guess at this point we're sort of going into winter, so it's a little bit more, starting to get a bit more slow. But I do want to show you that you can still get consistent leads in the door, right? It's not like everything suddenly shuts off. Cool, so that cost per sale has gone up a bit, $620. Cost per appointment has gone up a bit, $167. But yeah, still pretty consistent revenue that came through. This might actually be a double up. I'll have to look into that. Cool. Let's look one more month. Cool, 273 leads, 63 on-site quotes, spending 9K. Cost per lead has gone up a bit. Cost per appointment went down, so we booked more. But our cost was a little bit higher. 149K in revenue, $705 per sale. And yeah, it looks like we got a really big job that came through, which is again good. This is probably a residential one. And yeah, that's it for those like 3 months. hopefully that gives you an overview of, I guess, what we're doing for our clients. Cool. So yeah, now I just want to show you a newer client who's really just gotten started. They're in Perth and they've already got 11 leads. Their cost per conversion is around $52. So it is a little bit more expensive than the Brisbane market. As you could see, that other campaign was getting leads for around $20. We have been running that campaign for about 2 years, so we've had a lot of time to optimize. And yeah, Brisbane is obviously kind of a hotspot for landscaping. But yeah, $52 per lead I'm still really happy with. We're about to set up all of the, conversion, I guess, ROI tracking I showed you for the other client for this client. They have just gotten started. It hasn't even been like 14 days yet. But they've already got 11 leads, and out of these 11 leads, they've done about 5 quotes, and hopefully going to win a job soon. So I just wanted to show you a newer client as well. Cool. So that's an overview of, I guess, the results we get for our clients. I mean, if this looks interesting to you and you're like, I don't really care how this is done, I just want this for my business, there's a link below that you can click to just have a chat with me. We can talk about your business and how I can help grow your landscaping business. It's a no obligation salesy kind of call. It's just talking about if your business would be a good fit for our system, and you'll leave the call with like a roadmap of exactly what I'd recommend doing if you even want to just do it for yourself. So if that's of interest, click below. I'd love to talk with you. But if you want to learn a little bit more and kind of see under the curtain of how everything is done, continue on with this video and I will show you. So before we get into how exactly everything works, I just want to give you an overview of how Google Ads works. I think it's kind of important to understand it, to sort of see how our system works. I will skip over all the main boring stuff and just give you the main things you need to keep in mind. We type in a search term, in this case landscaping Brisbane, and this will trigger our keywords in the ad account for things that are relevant to landscaping Brisbane. You can type in whatever city you're in and landscaping, and you'll probably see some ads come up. Now, how does Google Ads cost money? So we don't get charged when our ad is shown, we only get charged when it is clicked, which is like one of the best things about Google Ads. We're only being charged when people click our ads. So on average for landscaping, here in Australia, it might be different in different countries, but we typically see between $3 to $6 per click. And that's kind of how we work out our cost per lead and our cost per appointment. It all comes from how much we charge per click. So there's a couple of different metrics I'm going to run you through just to get an understanding of Google Ads. Cool. So let me run you through one of our accounts. So first thing we'd look at is impressions. So an impression is when, like me right now is an impression. I've seen the ads, but I haven't clicked on them just yet. We're just counting how many people have seen our ad in Google search. So that's an impression. A click is kind of self-explanatory. It's when someone clicks our ad. And then we're charged when people click. In this case, on average, it's about $3.25. So like some days it's $4, some days it's $2.50. It just kind of varies. So then how do we figure out how much we need to pay per lead? That comes down to our conversion rate. So when someone visits our website, that's a click, and it takes a certain amount of clicks to become a lead. So for us, we track calls as well as lead forms. So if someone fills out the form, then they're counted as a lead. If someone calls us, we track that, and that's also counted as a lead. So let's say 10 people visit our website. If one person calls us, then our conversion rate would be 10%. If 2 people out of 10 call us, then our conversion rate would be 20%. And that kind of dictates our cost per lead. Because if we imagine our conversion rate is 10% and we're paying $3 per lead, then you can kind of do the math and figure out that would be $30 per lead, because we pay $3 10 times to get one person. So our cost per lead would be $30. So in this example, our conversion rate's 14%. This is something we really care about optimizing, because if we get cheaper leads, then we get more leads, and if we get more leads, then we get more appointments, which then we get more sales. So this is one thing we very much care about optimizing. But yeah, I just wanted to explain that. So conversion rate, and that kind of dictates our cost per conversion. Cool. One more metric to kind of consider is our click-through rate. This is something I might explain in another video why you want to get this nice and high. But that's basically, 100 people saw our ad and 10 people click it, then our click-through rate is 10%. And that's kind of signaling to Google that our ad is relevant. For example, if we type in Nike shoes and our ad for landscaping comes up, then not many people are going to click on our ad for landscaping because they wanted Nike shoes. It's not relevant at all. And eventually Google will punish our ad and not show it anymore because our click-through rate is really low. I'm not going to go too much into that. Let's keep going. So hopefully that kind of breaks down the basic metrics of Google Ads and how they're kind of interconnected. If you have any questions, comment down below and I'll help you guys out. No worries. So the next big thing to consider, now that we kind of understand the basic metrics, we've got clicks, impressions, that kind of stuff, is what I've learnt to be called the golden triangle. Ooh. So let me break down the golden triangle. So first up is keywords. So basically this comes to when we're building our campaign, we want keywords that are particularly relevant to our service. I'll create a separate video of doing keyword research, but we don't want keywords like garden supplies Brisbane, right? Like that's not a keyword that's relevant to getting landscaping projects. We just want things that are very specific to, landscaping Brisbane, landscaping Melbourne, landscaper near me. That's kind of the first thing, is that we want our keywords to be very relevant to our search or the kind of people we want to target, right? Cool. Next up is ad copy. So we want our ad copy to exactly align with what someone typed. So if I type pool landscaping Brisbane, like this is kind of specific. So let's look at these, right? So all of these are doing actually a pretty good job. So we could just have ads that are talking about landscaping Brisbane, but all of them mention the word pool in the ad, which is a good sign. So I'm looking for pool landscaping. I can see that this one is a pool landscaping contractor. So to me, that's a relevant ad because it's exactly what I'm looking for. For example, if they just had landscaping contractor and they didn't talk about pools, then that would be less relevant. So I guess the second point is just structuring your ads in a way that they're super relevant to the search term. That's kind of the ad copy point. Cool. And then the third point is landing page. And it's the same idea with ad copy. We want our landing page to be exactly what the person searched for. Cool. So this is one of our clients' landing pages. Obviously, I'm going to hide the identifiable stuff. But we can see that our headline matches up with what we typed, which was Brisbane pool landscaping. Nothing crazy. It's just someone clicked on this and they're like, oh, Brisbane pool landscaping. That's exactly what we need help with. Cool. So that's kind of an overview of the golden triangle and what everything means. It basically is that we want our keywords to be something that is relevant to our business. We want our ad copy to be relevant to what people searched, and we want our landing page to be relevant to the ad copy they saw. It's kind of like a cycle like that. Basically, if we can be an exact match of what that searcher wants in that particular moment, then we've done our job. We don't want to be fancy. We just want to perfectly serve that individual searcher. Cool. So let's go into the keyword section of it a little bit more. How do we optimize our keywords to be exactly what people are searching for? Let's go through that. So the first thing we need to understand is that there's a difference between keywords and search terms. So in our Google Ads account, we have a bunch of these things called keywords. And a keyword, you can think of it as what triggers our ads to show. So yeah, landscape is Brisbane for this example. Now, let's look into search terms. So if I type best landscape is Brisbane, that's different to our keyword of landscaping Brisbane. So we've changed landscaping to be landscapers, and Brisbane's still the same, but we've got this other keyword here called best. So that's like different, right? So basically we can't create keywords for every single possible search that comes through Google because there's so many new ones, even to this day, that people are searching. So that's why keywords kind of exist in the way that they are. I've just opened up Google Ads support. They've got this great article about keyword match types. So there's different match types of keywords that are basically how strict we want our keywords to match with what people are searching. So for this example, we typed furniture store. And if we had exact match keywords, then we're going to get results like furniture store or home furnishing store. If we have phrase match keywords, then we're going to get results like cheap furniture stores. You can kind of see broad match home decor, which is like, how's that? It's kind of related to furniture store, but not really. So within our ad account here, we can see that we've got different match types. So we've got exact match, landscaping, and phrase match, landscaping prices. So how does this kind of impact the search terms that we get within our campaign? Let's run through that. So on the right here, we can see the keyword that triggered the search term. And on the left, we can see the exact search term. So this is exactly what people typed into search to get our ad. So landscaping services, they typed landscaping consultant, landscaping service near me, landscaping, and then this is a suburb. Wow, so many because I have got the filter on for landscaping service. Okay, sorry. Landscape is Brisbane, landscape is Brisbane. That's like an exact match. Oh, funny, the match type is exact match. Let's look at some phrase match ones. Landscaping services, and then this is a suburb. This is the exact match. Irrigation system installation. Our keyword was sprinkler system installation. So when we're looking at our keywords, the thing we've got to optimize is we want people that are looking for our services, right? So obviously we want keywords that are related to our services, but we can also get search terms that, like, even though our keyword is relevant, our search terms might not be relevant. And this is something we optimize for, especially at the start of the campaign, but we can still optimize as the campaign goes on. So I'm going to look for some keywords, some search terms that stand out and don't seem relevant to us. So perhaps lawn seeding service, like it is kind of a service, but it's not necessarily something that's like a large service. So we might not want to show for lawn seeding service anymore. So we could look at taking seeding out. So what we can do is we can add negative keywords. So whenever someone makes a search, we can dictate if their search includes a certain word, like for example, repair or cheap. We don't want to show up for those searches, so we can add them here. So in this example, I'm going to add seeding as a negative keyword, and I'm going to show you how to do that. I will create a bigger video on negative search and how to kind of do it properly. But this is just a quick example. So as you can see, we've got a bunch of keywords here that are kind of like, oh yeah, that makes sense. So I think this is a residential campaign, so that's why we've got commercial as a negative keyword. Affordable. we want people to spend a lot of money. So I will add seating. So if someone types in seating, we're not going to show our ads for that anymore. Cool. So that's kind of an overview of what we can do to optimize the keyword side of things. Let's go into ad copy, which is the next one. So if we look at our ads, I'm going to have to filter out so much stuff here. Let's go. I will make a full video on writing ads, but I just want to show you a couple things. So first off, our keywords, I think this is like a general kind of landscaping type section. First up, we want to fill out all 15 headlines. Does it make a difference? I'm still not sure, but I think it does. So let's just do it. The other thing when we're writing our ads is we want to stand out. The way we can do that is with special symbols, I found. So if we can put a price in there somehow, or if we can put a discount, that is not how you write percentages, 20% off, like those things help your ads stand out a lot. And then, we just want to be relevant to the location. So mentioning Brisbane, that's helpful. Asking questions is like another hack you can do. Honestly, I'm just like filling out these, hey. Now, the really cool thing that not a lot of people know about is keyword and just insertion in general. So if on the keyboard we start typing this like curly bracket thing, we get this dialog box here that's like keyword insertion, countdown, location insertion. We only really want to care about keyword insertion and location insertion. So let's look at keyword insertion. So let's just put a default one there, Brisbane Landscapers. We want to select title case. So that means, I'll explain. So over here, we put our keyword insertion in. So in here, we've got our default, which is just Brisbane Landscapers, but we are inserting the keyword. So what does that mean? It means that we've got our list of keywords, right? So gardening, tree service, paving, Brisbane landscaping. So if someone searches lawn and garden services Brisbane or something, then it means our ad is going to show up as lawn and garden services, and then, Brisbane's #1 landscaping team, something like that. It'll basically, as one of the headlines, include the keyword. So before we were looking at relevancy, we were looking at pool landscapers, right? Probably the ads had a keyword insertion. One of the keywords must have been pool landscaping, and the ad showed pool landscaping as, the headline. So that basically makes it really easy to fill out every single possible keyword within your ad to make your ad more relevant. So that's one hack there. The other one is if you've got a campaign that has multiple locations, even suburbs, this is crazy, this one. So it's basically, let's do it together. So we want to click location insertion, and then you can either do two, so you could do like local blah 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 blah, or if it's always going to be one particular area, you can do like the location, Brisbane. Let's just do local, for example, like that. And then if someone's in a particular suburb, like let's say Spring Hill, then this will insert the suburb that they're in. So Spring Hill landscaping experts. That's basically how it works. And it's like, instead of creating hundreds of ads with every single suburb, we just need to include this, and then we're like super relevant to the person's suburb. Oh yes. Okay, so Meadowbrook is a suburb, so it's inserted Meadowbrook landscaping experts. Crazy, right? So definitely do this. This will help increase the relevancy of your ads, because people will be like, oh, I live in Meadowbrook and I need a landscaping expert. Done deal. So that's the main highlight of what I wanted to show you in ads. That's how you make your ads more relevant. Cool. Now let's look at landing page. As I said before, first thing we want to do is make sure that our headline is an exact match of what people clicked on with our ad, especially if it's like a particular service. We want to show that service in the headline. Now, how do we do that? I'll create a separate video on this, but we can do what's called, what is it called? I don't know, URL param insertion. Basically, we can add our headline into our URL from the ad and basically populate the headline. So if I change this to be, I don't even know if I spelled that right, but I've changed it and now it's garden maintenance experts. This basically, instead of creating hundreds of pages, now we can just have one page and it dynamically updates. Cool. So the next thing with landing pages is what I talked about before. We want to make it as easy as possible for someone to convert. The flip side of that is we also want quality leads. So the hack I've sort of found for doing that is having these kind of like instant forms. So there's basically going to be a few steps in this form. We're going to ask them a couple of questions, and that's how we kind of get high quality leads. So first up, what type of work do we need completed? By the way, I'm going to create a video on how to create these, but for now, let's just look. So let's say I just want landscaping. I could click turf installation as well. This also depends on, your services. You can put different stuff there. Is this residential or commercial? Residential. What's the size of our garden? 100. They can then describe, what work they need done. Then we can autofill their address. So, wherever they are. Cool. So that makes it a bit easy. And then, we're just asking for their name. And then their email and phone number, which we're not going to fill out. And that's pretty much it. When they fill that out, a button will pop up here that's like, get a free quote. What else do we need to do on the landing page? We need to optimize it for mobile. So if I go into mobile mode here, a couple of things have changed. We can see we still have our Google reviews. It's really important to show that, I think. If you have Google reviews, please add them to the landing page. It will help a lot. We've also got this huge call button. You can imagine that people are on their phone and they can, if they just want to call you, they can just call you directly by clicking that button. Cool. And then we've got this instant form which also shows up nicely on mobile. And as I scroll down, this call button kind of switched to the footer. And as I keep scrolling down, probably going to blank this stuff out. It will stay with us the whole time. Then we've just basically got information, pictures. Back up here, we had, some Google reviews. I just honestly put screenshots in. We just want it to look as authentic and genuine as possible. We don't want to have reviews that look like fake reviews that people just added, right? So I find that screenshots work pretty well because it's like, obviously this is an actual Google review because it's literally a screenshot. And then just pictures, very simple, book your free consult, that's it. Now this is converting between 10 to 15%, so it's doing a pretty good job. Other things to consider is call tracking, which is the next big thing I wanted to talk about. So I think if you're running a service-based business and running Google Ads, you should be call tracking. Why should we be call tracking? Let me show you. Cool. So we're looking between like April to May for this client. They got 172 calls and 137 forms. So if we weren't tracking calls, it would just look like we generated 137 leads, which would not be great in this example. But because we're tracking calls, we're showing all of the 309 leads that actually came from our campaign. That's why it's important. if we're in like a trade-based business, a lot of people are just going to want to call, so we need to add the facility for people to call. So how do we track the phone calls? I'll create a tutorial a little bit later, but basically we've got some software that changes this number. This isn't their actual number, it's like a tracking number. So when people call this number, which I'm probably going to blur out a little bit of it, it forwards directly to their number, and we can track and record that phone call. That's basically how it works. I will do another tutorial on how to do call tracking, but I just wanted to touch on it, that it's important to track your phone calls as well. Cool. Last but not least is ROI tracking. I showed this at the start of the video, but I just want to quickly touch on it again. I think it's really important to track how much money our clients are making. Obviously, we're spending a decent amount of money per month on advertising. We just want to make sure that we're getting a return on our investment, right? So I will also create another tutorial on how to set this all up. It's a little bit tricky, but it's something we do for our clients just because we want to make sure that they're making money, right? Now, if everything I showed you is interesting and you're like, damn, I want this for my business, then yeah, book a call down below. We can chat about your business and see if I'd be able to help you. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below. I'm definitely going to reply to it. Yeah, thanks for watching.